All right, haves and have not fans. No, I do not have all the answers. I don't know what happened. The moment that thing popped up on the screen, thanking fans for supporting the show for nearly 200 episodes, left me as confused and unsatisfied as everyone else. But I think what is an important question to ask is what's next for Hanna? Now, I feel like Hanna, I don't think she could lead a new series. Like, I don't think there should be another series where it's strictly just Hanna, where it's kind of like, a spinoff. But I do feel like there should at least be maybe like a mini movie or like a 2 hour special just to kind of show us what Hanna did after finding out about Catherine and Benny, and then, gaining, well, I guess you could say officially becoming the full-time executor slash owner of the Crier estate. I just think that we need to know what happened next. I think the most important thing, the money aside, is really showing Hanna to be somewhat in a Job position where she loses everything that she cared about and that God blessed her with. And then it was a test of her character and faith. And as a result, God blessed him, and in this case her, more than she even ever possibly dreamed of having. So I think for me, the biggest question is, would Hanna still be, a God-fearing Christian woman? I mean, I remember when Benny was in the hospital from the hit and run in season 1. And then, of course, later on when she lost Quincy Jr., it became hard for her to talk to God. But eventually she kind of lightened up and, over time began to get back into praying and whatnot. And that goes to what I said prior to the final 8 episodes airing. I said it would be awful if Hanna actually killed Jim, because I think it would be a massive stain on the Christian woman she was portrayed to be for so long in the series. Not saying she was never a hypocrite, not saying she never sinned, but for her to take the life of another person out of a place of revenge, it made sense. But in the context of the character of Hanna Young, who we've been getting to know for nearly a decade, I did not like it. What about when she killed Malik? Number one, that was self-defense. That was completely different. The moment that Hanna was in her car and Jim got tossed off, when she decided to turn around and run him over, that was straight up murder. I don't care what anybody says. So I think for me, there are just several things that we need to know what happened next. Number one, did Hanna ever visit or call Derek to inform him that their daughter was murdered by Jim Crier? I know at that point in the series that Derek was a afterthought. He got arrested and that was pretty much it. We never knew what happened to him after that, and I didn't like it because of the fact that he was a long-standing reoccurring character and love interest for Hanna. Yet after revealed to be the man with the lion tattoo, he was only making sporadic appearances, randomly got connected with Samuel and Laura in order to extort all the money from Veronica's accounts to drain her dry, and then that was it. He got arrested and that was it. It would be nice to have one last moment between these two characters in regards to whether or not, they can reconcile or have forgiveness due to the fact that, well, that was their daughter. Speaking of deadbeat baby daddies, Tony, the fact that, he was trying to get Benny's kidneys to save his own life, even though we never even knew if he was a match, so what does it matter? But given the fact that after all the countless children he brought in who weren't a match, I think it's safe to say Tyler probably had the mindset of making Benny the match, but they never really did anything with it. Do you think after Benny's murder that he might come in, if he's still alive, that is, to get Benny's kidneys? I will be interested to see what would happen in that scenario, because given that Hanna killed Jim, I would not be surprised if she tried to kill Tony. But on top of that, she does have the power of the Crier estate in her back pocket, so you could argue that it's possible she could use those connections in order to beat Tony in court. But then again, I don't know if Benny was listed to be an organ donor or anything. There are a lot of caveats to that. Then, of course, I wonder if Charles and Landon would even visit Hanna to give condolences to Candace, or at least try to figure out what happened. I don't know, or they'll just try to stay away from this altogether, given the fact that Candace had a bad rep, but Landon was trying to turn things around in the media. And then those two were the only ones who knew she was pregnant with the president's baby. So it's very unclear how or if they would react to this at all. And then, of course, Hanna really coming into her own, making her own decisions when it came to financial and business decisions for the Cryer estate. We know that Jim was served to pay $50,000, but do you think Hanna would give the money to Celine for child support, or would she be like, nope? So there are a lot of things I wish we knew about Hanna's future after that final scene in the car. Not to mention Tanisha and the baby, if that really is Benny's son. I guess that she would love on them the same way she wanted to love on Quincy Jr. and, her own daughter Candace. So I feel like, for me personally, the main thing I would like to see is how Hanna would move forward. Basically not only in the lane of being a have and not a have not, but also the fact that, I would love to see her faith, and if it got stronger because she lost everything around her, which it sucks, but at the end of the day, the reason she's still alive is the fact that she did trust in God, whereas the people around her were making wrong, sinful decisions leading to their untimely yet well-deserved demises. So let's talk about it more in the comment section below. Would you love kind of like a made-for-TV special or movie where we see the events of Hannah Young's life after the final scene of the haves and have-nots? Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.